My name is John Herhold, and I'll be hosting today. Super excited for our topic because, first of all, thanks everybody for being here on time. As our normal host who is not feeling well, Jim Lambright always says, "Realtors showing up on time. What's happening?" So I'll just keep the flow going. But it's funny. You look, and I'm actually in the market for buying a house right now. And I'm running into this as a consumer. The inventory is low. There's not a ton of selection out there. And, so I've been kind of struggling trying to make a couple things work. And so we're going to talk about something that I think is very timely right now. And that's how to sell real estate in a market where there's not a lot of inventory. And so we've got two very senior agents, one in Chicago and one in Atlanta. Both of them have been around through just about every cycle you could think about when it comes to real estate. Laura in Chicago has been in real estate for, I think, over 35 years. She got in when she was 2. And, she's a top producer in her market. And she does a great job, and she loves to give value to other agents. So, Laura, please take it away.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Hope everyone's all well. It's cold and rainy here in Chicago. Brr. So much for our fall. I don't know. It feels like spring. Anyway, so I've got a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation that you're going to get access to the whole slide deck, so you can take notes or not. The way I learn is I'm audio, but I'm also visual. If I don't see it, I'll forget it. And as I was explaining to the group earlier, I'm a bit of a squirrel, so I don't want to jump around. I'm going to try to stay somewhat organized. If you have a question at any time, please don't hesitate to ask. I know I talk a little fast. I'll try to slow down. I think it's a Chicago thing, not really sure. But let me get my, let me share my screen for you. And hopefully you'll see this okay. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So what are we going to start talking about first? And you're going to say, well, wait a minute, lady. I thought we're talking about how to sell houses in a low inventory market. And yes, we are going to talk about that. But what we have to talk about a little bit before we dive into all the different ways to sell houses in a market like this, because as John mentioned, I certainly have seen the ups and downs of the market. I got divorced in 2008. And if you remember what happened then, inventory was very low and the market completely tanked. So I figure if I made it through that during those circumstances, I can make it through anything. We shifted ahead of time. It was about a year and a half ago, April of 2022, when I told my son, Robert, who works with me, I could feel a shift coming. We have to shift ahead of it. So I think that's a key going forward for you, is to shift ahead. Now we're in the middle of it. Okay. So what do we do now? Well, the first thing we have to talk about a little bit is our own mindset. We have to keep our head in the game. We can't be having the conversations with our clients of, oh yeah, interest rates are so high and inventory so low and woe is me, because you're going to just add to what their fears already are. So we can't have those fears in our mind. We have to keep our mind right. And then how do we keep our mind right? Well, we can do that a lot of different ways. Success is all about getting into the right habits. We have to focus our energy in the right way. I mean, we have to focus our energy every day positively. Start your day off with the miracle morning. I've talked about that before. Educate ourselves, learn the stats. I'm going to have a little bit of stats later in the presentation for you, but really know your numbers and be able to say them. What were the interest rates back in the 80s, the 90s, 2000, and what are they now? And you're going to see what the average has been for the last 40 years. And that's a stat you can say to your client. We've got to keep them as positive and motivated as we are. So have the right habits. It's going to energize your day. It's going to make you feel positive. And if you feel more positive, your clients are going to feel positive. So you can read this through fully later. As a realtor, we're helping people find their dream homes. You have to make this a reality for you. And if you do, you're going to keep your mind in the game. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to set habits and goals. And I'm talking about in the next couple months. This is just a couple things that I've set up for myself. You do what works for you. Some of you are probably way ahead of me, because it's already the middle of October and you've already done all this. But habit number 1, get up early. We all talk about that all the time. Number 2, prospect daily. The most important thing about prospecting to find inventory to find homes to sell to your clients is to do it the way you want to do it. Some people love to be on the phone for 3 hours a day. That's not exactly me. Other people like to be on social media for 2 to 3 hours a day. That's not exactly me. I'm kind of a combo person. I like a little of this, a little of that. I get bored easily. So again, I kind of squirrel around. So I write notes. I do door knocking. I do social media posts. I take clients out to lunch or take other realtors out to lunch. Take a lender out to lunch. Learn the numbers, learn what you need to know to help your clients. What is my goal? Right now, we're going to be doing our business planning clinic, and we're going to be setting our goals for next year. But most importantly, when you set that goal board, whether you do a vision board or you put it into some sort of a plan, the key really is to look at it often. Look at it weekly for sure. And monthly, analyze your goals. Where are you? Are you off target? If so, you need to make adjustments. You need to change what you're doing. Don't wait until July and say, uh-oh, what happened? You're halfway through the year. And then the goal number 4 is just, again, keep positive, work on your mental state of mind, read in information that's going to help you, journal, positive journal. What are the things that you're grateful for? And that's going to keep your mindset right. So goals, we all know, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time. Okay, so a little bit about the stats I kind of collected a little bit. So interest rates, and this kind of is a little light, but 1970s to now. So what we have to do is keep your client's mindset positive. The average interest rate in the past 40 years is 7.42. That's about where we're at now, folks. So it's still a good time to buy. I was selling it with 16% and people were buying. A lot of my career was 9, 10, 11%. When it dipped down into the 3s, that was just, I kept saying, this is stupid free money. That's just crazy. Unfortunately, the people got used to that. And so now they think, oh my God, the sky is falling at 7.5%. The sky is not falling. It will come back down. Average price increases. Now we're talking to people all across the country. It could be completely different in your market. The stats online, the average in the last 12 months, there was an increase of 4.2%. Prices are still going up. Are they going to pull back? Probably. I don't have a crystal ball. Probably they're going to pull back, and they probably should. Just like in 05, 6, and 7, when the prices went crazy high, and I was trying to talk my clients out of buying houses because it was so ridiculously high. And then I just told them, just don't ask me to sell anytime soon because you're going to be a little bit underwater. Well, now they put more money down than they did back then with the crazy loans. So we may not see as much of the people underwater, but we are going to start to see the pre-foreclosures and foreclosures already starting to hit the market, which is one thing you can do for low inventory. So owning is still better than renting, which leads into the second part. Renting is expensive. So, hey, it's a great time to invest and be a landlord. So just find ways for your client to purchase homes. Ask them. No, they don't want to sell right now because they have a 3.5% interest rate and they just bought 2 years ago. But maybe they want to be a landlord, maybe hold a seminar for investors. That would be something you could do. Okay, so staying motivated while working from home, because most of us are, and selling a low inventory market. So number 1, work with your past clients. Ask for referrals. A lot of these in the beginning are going to be ones that you already know. I'm going to throw in a couple other ones that maybe you haven't thought about. And also, I'm going to caution you, don't get overwhelmed. Pick and choose a couple things that work for you. You may be very good at doing 1 or 2 of these things. Pick 1 or 2 more that really speak to you, that you're willing to commit to, because that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about consistency. We are going to have to work harder in this market. There's no way around it. We can't just sit back and, line up in front of houses and put in 20 offers and over 30,000 over list price. Those days are gone. So now it's back to the basics. So a lot of this may seem basic to you and you're going to say, oh, this lady, she's just talking basic. Exactly. The basics are what works. The basics is where we make our money. This is where we earn our money. When it was so easy and everyone was just going out there and selling houses left and right, those people are either gone out of the market or they're leaving soon. I know that our board of realtors fees are $700. They're coming up December 1st. We're going to see a lot of licenses go away in Illinois because they're not going to want to pay that fee. So back to this. So working with your current clients, the number 1 most important thing for you to do, it's completely free. Make phone calls, call your clients, talk to them, ask them, do they know anyone else that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? How about you, Mr. client. You know, your kids are young. Do you want to buy an investment property now that you can cash out when they go to college and then you'll have money for college? Or what about their parents? Grandparents love to give money. So let them buy an investment property right now, cash out when the child is 18 and going to college and their college is paid for. Just have to get creative in this market. Keep track of all your leads. You know, we all have those little pieces of paper and those notebooks and who we met at open house and we forgot about them, or who we have in our contact management system.
Which has stopped an inspection.
Go ahead, Laura.
Whatever that contact management system is for you, the key to that, again, is consistency. Work with it. We use KV Core. It's a great system. I'm going through all of my leads right now. I'm putting task reminders to keep in touch with my clients. I'm really pushing very hard this fourth quarter. I'm going to be baking. I'm going to make Thanksgiving dinner. Actually, Thanksgiving is my 10-year anniversary this year. And I always host everything, and Christmas, and I'll be wrapping gifts and decorating the house and doing all of that. And I will keep working, because if you stop working now, you will have a terrible first quarter. If you really kick it up a notch or 2 or 3 now, you are going to crush the first quarter, and you're going to crush your competition because they're all out shopping and baking. So make sure you write a thank you note to everyone that sends you a referral. Really important. Notes themselves are important. And now we have time and reason to give notes. We've got Thanksgiving. You could give away pies. We've got, you know, the holidays, we've got New Year's, all kinds of reasons to write people notes. So keep in touch. So of course, expired listings, we all know about those. And then just don't forget about the old expireds, 1, 2, 3 years ago. Go back further, because most realtors are not calling them. Everyone is calling the current expireds right now, and they're calling the buy owners because everyone's looking for business. They are getting besieged with phone calls. Doesn't mean you shouldn't call them. You should, if this is your thing. But don't forget to go back a couple of years, because those people, something might have changed in their life and they need to change. They need to sell now. At one point, they were listed with a realtor, so maybe they want to sell now. Make sure you're sending notes or walking. We're going to talk about door knocking in a minute around the neighborhood when you list a house, when you sell a house, when you're having open houses. Okay, speaking of open houses, yes, do open houses. If your area allows, check with your state broker. Always want to be careful not to give people advice that they can't do in their area, but you can ask other agents if you can host their house open or if you can advertise their house. They have to be, I'm pretty sure within your brokerage, you can't advertise another brokerage's open house or house for sale, but you can usually do your own brokerage. So check with your office manager to see if you can do that. So if you don't have inventory, other people do, and they're happy to have you advertise their house for sale. So get out there, do open houses. Don't get lazy. I know it's kind of chilly, especially in the Midwest and the North. Of course, those in Arizona, California, Florida, Texas, they're all nice, warm, and sunny all year round. So you have absolutely no excuse whatsoever. Okay, door knocking. Yes, we do a fair amount of door knocking. Talked about this in the past. We usually bring an item of value. Past clients, you can bring them something. Expireds, old expireds. We put together little packages. They say all kinds of things, and just leave something of value. And then the whole key is to keep following up. You can't stop by once and say, oh, I never heard from them. It didn't work. If you leave something for someone, especially if you have a conversation with them, put them in your database, follow up. No, they may not sell in the next couple of years, but they know somebody else that's buying or selling. And right now, you are a hunter. Get out and hunt. Back in the old days, they had a hunt for food. Just go to the refrigerator and it's right there. It's way too close, actually. But get out there and hunt, because we like food with our meals, and so we need money for that. Higher level thinking. Okay, this is what we're doing a lot of right now, and we do market this to our clients, our buyers, and our buyer presentations, reminding them what we do for them. If there is a house that is not available that my client is looking for, a couple of things I tell them. I say, 1, write down an address. If you drive by something you like, write down the address, text it to me. If you see a buy owner that you like, for sale by owner, I can represent you on that. Text me the address. So I kind of got them out there working. I asked them, what neighborhood? You specifically love one neighborhood? I'm going to go and canvass the whole neighborhood. So I'm out there knocking on doors, looking for homes that are not yet listed. The best thing you can be doing with your extra time on your hands is to get out there and find homes that are not yet listed. I have put together multiple deals this year by doing just that. I advertised on Nextdoor, if you have Nextdoor in your area, on Facebook Marketplace, on your social media. You just put out there, hey, I've got a young couple with 2 kids and a dog that are looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-story in Orland Park, up to $500,000. If you know of anyone that has a home like that, or you're thinking about selling, give me a call. I do it all the time, and it does work. And it's a way just to get leads for yourself. And plus, you're showing more value to your buyer. Okay, more great ideas. So I know a lot of you have heard this. Sit at your local coffee shop. You can make a custom skin for the outside of your laptop that says whatever you want it to say. I'm a realtor, ask me a question, something like that. So have a custom skin made, pop that on your computer when you're at the coffee shop, because, we've all got these little covers on our laptops, and then spend some time there. You're going to sit there and drink coffee anyway. You might as well just sit there, do your work, write your notes while you're sitting there, give you something to do, or do whatever you need to do on the MLS, research homes or something. But you'll meet people there, and people will come up and they will ask you a question. Meet your top 50 contacts in person. So I've been doing small group get-togethers, like doing happy hours and mimosas and manicures and things like that, where I get a small group, might be 10, 15, 20 people together. Gives me time to talk to each one of them, get to know more about them, about their families. Then I can keep in touch with them in a better way that they want to be kept in touch. So when I call them a month from now, I'm not just saying the same old thing. Hey, do you know anyone that wants to buy or sell real estate? I can say, hey, I noticed that Joey loves to play baseball. Did you see that so-and-so is coming in town for autographs? I don't know, whatever. I'm making it up. But anyway, the more you get to know your clients, the better you can keep in touch with them. And the more they'll appreciate that. And then you have a reason to call, and you don't feel funny about calling them. Okay, U.S. probate leads. So now we're going to get into the woods here, folks. And some people might say ambulance chaser. No, it's not that. Everyone needs help. Unfortunately, people sell because they die, they get divorced, they have a child, they lose their job, they get transferred. There's a reason people have to sell homes. It's your job to go find the people that have to sell right now. They are out there. Go find them. This is one resource for you. So you might want to consider this. I put his contact information there. You can call and look into it. Just another resource for you. What about renters? We talked about how rentals are so high right now. Have a first-time homebuyer seminar. Let's go back to the basics. Do it with your lender. Have coffee and donuts. Have them pay. Present. Have your attorney there, whoever else you want to have there, and have on a Saturday morning, put flyers out there on their doors, inviting them to a first-time homebuyer seminar. So that's something you can do so they can get home ownership. Let's talk about, so you're doing business with different people every day. Your car wash guy, your landscaper, where you get your clothes dry cleaned. I mean, the list is endless. Make a list for yourself. Who do you do business with regularly? And ask them for business in return. You're giving them business. You probably have given them referrals, especially people you've given multiple referrals. I think sometimes it's a little harder when it's someone in the housing industry, like your carpenter, your painter. They work with so many realtors. That may be a little more challenging. Doesn't mean you can't ask them, but don't forget all the thinking outside the box people that you're doing business with. And you could do some sort of a business-to-business venture with them. Say, hey, are you guys looking for more business? The next mailing I do, we can split the cost. I'll advertise your business with mine, and then you saved half the money. And if you're starting to send them business, I guarantee they're going to be the ones referring you as a realtor because you helped them first. We always give to receive. Contract credit repair agencies, see if you can work some sort of relationship with them. They have people that want to buy houses once they're cleaned up, which is an average of 9 to 18 months. And then all of your leads that didn't close, you didn't convert in the last 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, whatever, go back and call all of those people. Your insurance agent, they're making annual calls, policy calls, following up with their clients. How's it going? Let's talk about your policy. Do we make any changes? ask them, or if they're willing to say, hey, by the way, are you planning on buying any real estate in the future? Because if so, I'll need to know to insure you. And if they say yes, hey, I have a great realtor that I work with that you may want to talk to prior to buying that investment property. Just another thought. Visit a model center. I know the builders across the country, not in Chicago as much, haven't been as easy to work with, although they're getting better. I know other parts of the country, they work regularly with realtors and they love realtors. But in your area, if they're not listed in the MLS and they don't have anyone specific, go to visit their model center. See, maybe you could even, I don't know if this is legal or not, so check with your area. If you can sit in their model and you could either turn over the buyer to them and take the other leads, or list their whole development. They're all starting to suffer now too. So they need help and they need us now. Your divorce attorney, visit a couple of them, talk to a few, just like your probate attorneys, get to know a couple of them, send them business, help host an event with them, sponsor an event with them, do something so that you can get on their list. I have a divorce attorney that I work with, and she has a whole board. She works in kind of a holistic way of all different cards for different people for different things that they need during a divorce. And my card is up there. So don't forget about your divorce attorneys. Network, create a sphere of influence call list, never have lunch alone. I take my clients to lunch. You might take another agent to lunch to pick their brain. You could help each other, start your own BNI group or some sort of a networking group with people from different industries. So you're the only realtor in that industry, or join one if they need a realtor. Slide dial. If you're not familiar with slide dial, it's where you can do automated texts and messages. It's a way to get a broadcast out there talking about your just listed, just sold, you're looking for a home for someone, in a particular neighborhood. Make sure that just puts a message into their phone. They never see it ring. It sounds like you're calling them personally. It's a personalized message. Hey, Joe, it's Laura. Hope all is well. Sorry, I missed you. If you guys need anything, I'm here for you, blah, 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 whatever you're going to say. So it's a quick way to get a bunch of phone calls out there, and it's not that expensive. So Napoleon Hill just says, do it now. There's that whole 5-second rule, just do it now, folks. Just get out there. We're going to work harder. We're going to have to work smarter. We're going to have to pound the pavement, because that's the only way we're going to make more money. So that's it. Questions?
Laura, that was fantastic.
Awesome.
A lot of nuggets there, and a lot of back to the basic stuff, which everybody needs to hear during this time, because things have been very different with the market the last few years. Like you talked about, a lot of multiple offer situations and stuff like that, and things are changing. So like Kim always says, when things are changing, the best thing to do is get back to the basics. So just to read a few comments, and if you got any comments, you want to add anything to the chat, you got a question for Laura or for Tony, please add it to the chat, or raise your hand. Alex has got his hand up. Let me read some comments here, and then we'll go to Alex. Holly commented, true, we're in an all-time peak in housing affordability compared to income. Same goes for renting, though. I agree, purchasing still makes sense. And she loved the thank you card referral source. So that's awesome. Thanks, Holly. Also, guys, if you scroll up, we added our YouTube channel. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to see a recording of this on our YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook group for those of you guys that want to join us on Facebook. We have the link in there, and then we have our GrowGlobal website where we have the upcoming events listed and all kinds of other information. So Cindy asked, what was the name of the site that leaves a voicemail? Oh, Alex responded.
Slide dial.
Slide dial. Awesome. Perfect. Alex, you got a question or comment? Join us.
No, I just, Laura, that was awesome. I got in the business in 2012, and it was a lot of the stuff that you talked about, handwritten notes, networking everywhere you go, the Starbucks, the note on the Starbucks, ask me anything, things like that. It's so basic. We live in the world now where everybody's selling some sort of promotional guide for you to buy as consumers in our industry, to then generate opportunity to help facilitate more business. And getting to the basics, like Jim Lambright always says flesh to flesh, like go shake people's hands, go educate people and make sure they know what you do. You nailed just so many basic things that the traditional realtor can be doing every single day. That isn't this overwhelming thing of like technology and content creation and all that stuff, but it's more just go making solid relationships with so many different people. So I just wanted to tell Laura she did an awesome job, and I'm grateful for that messaging today.
Thanks, Alex. Always appreciate your contributions. And yes, Laura, you did a fantastic job. Thanks for being so prepared and delivering today. And if you, like I said, if anybody has any comments for Laura, anybody wants to add anything, anybody's got a question, either feel free to either put it in the chat. Kim, do you have a question? You got a comment?
Well, yeah, I mean, Laura, you knock it out the park, girl. In a market like this, I want to say this, emphasize what she already been saying, for the past 2 years, all these people say, I sold this over 50,000, 100,000, all these people, they never done what Laura, what you get ready to hear from Tony, in a minute. But I mean, these veterans, the reason why we brought these veterans to speak today is because they have been around the block. I mean, we survived the 2008 and all the other crashes there too. So we know how to list and sell real estate because we done it. We can do real estate in our sleep, okay? So for the past 2 years, people are like, yeah, look at me. I sold it. And now they're like, what do I do? This is the reason why we all created GrowGlobal here, to kind of get back to the basic, teaching everyone in the industry how to list and sell home. And this is what we do every week, guys. So that's why we encourage you to just have, some love and compassion for all the other agents. To bring them, and we have the same Zoom link every week. And Laura, I'm so proud of you, girl. I mean, she is knocking out. I love it. I take so much notes here and slide dial. I didn't even know about that. I'm like, I've been around. I'm learning every day myself. So none of us in here is just because we're the expert. It's because we come into this community like John. I mean, amazing job, John. Like, we all giving back. We all come into this community because you guys are amazing. So I just want to give, Laura some kudos and just how proud I am of all of us giving back to our industry agent that are needing so much help, especially in this market. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kim, for adding more value like you always do. And we're going to move on to our next speaker from down in Atlanta, Georgia. Tony's who we call our seasoned veteran of our group. Tony's been in real estate for probably longer than some people on this call have been around. Tony's a seasoned veteran. He's seen every market. He's got a ton of knowledge, but he's also just a tremendous human being because he's got a servant's heart. He loves to give back. And I know Tony's going to deliver the goods right now. So Tony, take it away, my friend.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for having me on today. I'm honored to be here. Laura, just home run, grand slam, did a great job. I wish my Braves could have done that the other night. You did well. Hey, listen, here's the thing about all this is that, yes, Pam and I have been through probably 5 or 6 of these types of markets through the years. And so I hope that I can give you some value. This thing, GrowGlobal, gives value every Monday. And just keep coming back, keep inviting your friends in, and see the value of this. But hopefully I can give you some things here that will make it work. The other side of this is I don't have a PowerPoint. However, if you want to message me, I left my phone number in the chat, and I'll be glad to send you any notes that I have. Just a few things. When you have to understand right now that part-time people and people who are really not taking real estate that seriously, they're getting discouraged and they're leaving their clients on the curb. They really are. We were with someone last night and he told me, he says, man, we got tired of not being able to find property. So we just decided to lease something. And I cringed inside, and I found out what it was is his agent just gave up and then told them to give up. So just don't give up. There's ways of doing this. And hopefully I'll give you some things today that you can use. First thing I'd say is expand your geographical reach. Go outside of the area that you're used to marketing. Take it on out. Take the borders out a little bit. highlight the benefits of those areas, search for affordability, and also the proximity to amenities. We're in a market now, if you're in a major city area, walkability is really important to people right now. But as you move out a little bit further, affordability. So when you move out into geographical areas to expand your reach to find listings, make sure you understand that market. Second thing, stay engaged. Exactly what you're doing right here. Stay engaged with what's going on in network marketing like this. Now, go to corporations, okay, and offer something to their employees. Offer some benefit to those employees. You're going to find buyers that way. You're going to find sellers that way. If you can find a way to be included in their benefits package in that corporation, do that. Build a relationship with the HR director and offer them things, for people to use you there in those corporations. I'm real big about digital marketing. I've always had a reputation of being kind of out on the cutting edge of some technology. And right now I'm really trying, while we're in sort of this holiday season coming up and while we're in a little slower market, I'm getting back to the basics of making sure that I'm right online. I'm building up my Google business page. If you don't know, if you don't have a vanity domain name for your website, Google Business will essentially, block you. So if you're just using your company website with no vanity domain name to go toward that website, you're going to find that they're going to block you. So you have to open that up. So research what to do inside your Google business page. Now, in all this, someone keeps trying to call me, but in all this, one of the things that I'm doing on my website now is I'm starting to build blogs. And if I can create a way where people will go to my website and see blogs, it's going to build me up more and more out there as a digital marketer. How do I create the blogs? I'm using ChatGPT. When you use ChatGPT, you can get ideas real quick by using AI. Someone said the other day, AI is not going to replace you, but those who use AI will replace you. So don't be afraid of artificial intelligence right now. One of the things that you can do, you have to be careful about this, is that if you use ChatGPT to create AI, Google will block you, okay? So there is a website out there you can take a look at. It's called undetectable.ai. Just take the things that you get from ChatGPT, copy paste them into Undetectable AI. It'll give you all the red lights of the reasons that Google will not, recognize what you're doing. But the craziest thing is on that same program, you push the button humanize. It'll humanize your post. And then green lights, Google says everything's good to go. Then you put it into your blog, and then Google will start recognizing your website more and more. Hopefully you follow what I just talked about. Create targeting marketing campaigns and focus on the needs of potential buyers and sellers. Use online advertising platforms like Google Ads and Facebook Ads. Hopefully, you're managing your database. Some of our databases are a complete wreck. And go into your CRM, manage your database, make sure you've got them cleaned up, make sure the people that you want in your database are there, and then find a way to stay in more contact with those databases. Client education. One of the things that I like is in client education is when you have a buyer, and I've mentioned this a couple of times on different formats, but when you have a buyer and you have a closing, go back to your lender and say, hey, look, let's put on a housewarming party. And your buyer that just had the closing, ask them for a list of names, emails, phone numbers, and then send out invitations to that housewarming party to the new home that they purchased. Your lender will pay for all the food and everything that's there. And then you've got a more to put into your database for all the invitations that came to the housewarming party. You can have a great time, show off the place, and then you'll meet new people there as well. Let's see, community involvement, stay real involved in community events, sponsorships, charities. Right now is the time to make the connections to sponsor things that are going on. We're involved in different things, and we sponsor different types of events so that people can see what we're doing and that we care for what they're doing in the community as well. Offer creative financing solutions. I'm a real believer in working with mortgage brokers. I don't work with the big banks. I work with mortgage brokers that can give me the best situation for my clients. So have a real good relationship with those mortgage brokers and make sure you understand, everything that they're offering. Right now, seller contributions is big. And we went through a period of time where sellers, they wouldn't contribute anything. But now we're in a time, instead of reducing the price of a listing, go back in and get a seller contribution to get your buyer through. Also real important on your Google page or on your website is to have, 5-star reviews. I use a product called Rate My Agent. Essentially what happens is when I have a closing, I upload it into my my system. We use a system called SkySlope, and Rate My Agent has access into SkySlope, and they can go and start contacting, my client and all those involved in the transactions to get reviews for me. And then they maintain those reviews. They maintain those reviews in Google as well. Stay informed, stay educated, be seen as an agent in your field that can attract clients by giving good, knowledgeable advice. Now, here's a few things that is as we finish here in just a second, a few things that are just ideas that I've been working on lately and things that I'm hearing about as well. I mentioned using AI. You're going to see more and more, especially with what's going on today with the lawsuit that's going on with the NAR, things like this. You're going to see more and more the ability to see national MLS systems. There are systems that are out there that are opening up. There's one system I've heard about called ZenList, and it's an app you can put on your phone, and you can literally see off-market properties that agents are putting in there before they're ever listed. Maybe someone just says, hey, at some point I may sell. If you can find someone that would buy my property, I would sell it. These agents are putting these properties in a off-market list in a national database, so you can go out and search those properties. So look for those types of things. Talk to your broker. What do you know about off-market properties and MLS systems? It allows me to search for those as well. Advertise listings in your company. One of the things that I promote is with people that I coach or train is to go into their company listings, call the listing agent and say, look, would you mind if I advertise your listing? I'm out of listings. You mind if I advertise your listing on Facebook or wherever it may be? And, I'm a real believer in getting permission from the listing agent to do that. But what it'll do is it'll give you the opportunity to get buyers. Now, if that agent is open-minded, they'll say, oh my goodness, well, get all the buyers you can and come and sell our property. And you can create the action in that to advertise those properties by asking people in your company if you can advertise their listings. And there shouldn't be a problem with that, but I'm a real believer in asking for permission to do that. Here's another idea. Go to a subdivision. You got the front office people there in the subdivision. Let's say they've got, 50 homes in there they're trying to sell. Well, build a relationship with that front end agent and just say, hey, look, I know that in a week's time, let's say there's 50 people that come into this office that don't have an agent. Well, most of the time that front end agent in that subdivision can't convert those people to outside sales. In other words, the developer builder says you can't take these people and go sell them something else. So they've got a book of business right there of people that are not buying. You ought to build a relationship with those agents and say, hey, look, I want to not only advertise your homes in here to try to get you more sales, and that's ways of getting buyers, but try to build a relationship where they would refer to you those folks that have not bought in their subdivision, because they've got all the information right there as the people walked into the area. I'm a real believer in Red X. You ought to subscribe to the Red X podcast. There's tons of information in there on how to get listings. As you know, they supply expires and for sale by owners, but they have a lot of education in there on what to do with the data that they provide. And the podcasts are free, so you ought to get the Red X podcast. And here's something that happened yesterday, and I got to thinking through this, and I thought, well, here's a good way of getting something through. We're in a market right now where we're starting to see, for instance, we have a buyer that needs to sell a property in order to purchase, okay? So they're going to write a contingency subject to offer on a property, okay? And let's say that ours is the one with that subject to that gets worked out. Well, we'll call those agents and we'll ask them, are you getting other showings? And they may say, yeah, I've got 5 showings today. Well, if you find out that those showings that could have been your competition went away, that means they're looking for that type of property. So what I'm doing now is I'm going back to that listing agent. Let's say we were able to get our offer through, subject to the sale of another property. I go back to that listing agent and I'll say, those people, those agents that did not buy your listing, would you mind if I contact them? Because I may be able to get them to write an offer on the house that is subject to this one. I hope you follow what I'm saying here. It opens up where you're able to contact them and say, I've got a property that's going on the market this afternoon or something. And then you can make the whole deal work. So your property that needs to sell is selling. The property, that you wrote the contract on, you got that worked out, and you're going to the people that are still out there looking for properties. So they can't find anything to show, and then you contact them and it makes all the deals work. Okay. So that's just an idea on doing that as well. Let's see here. Other things I had was contact your sphere. Everyone knows about that. You should consistently contact the people you know best. Talk to everyone in your sphere at least twice a year, and aim at least once a quarter to those that are important relationships, that you have an important relationship. So make sure that you talk to them, quarterly. When you talk to them, ask questions, but listen, okay, and engage. Listen to what they say. Don't, kind of like I'm spilling everything out right now. I'm hitting you with a fire hose. But the thing is when you're talking to your sphere, listen to them, make notes, respond back and say, hey, I just want to, this is important to you. I just want to make sure I write this down correctly. And that way you've got a record of what's important to them. Eventually they'll ask you as an agent, how are things going for you? And building that relationship. But the most important thing is to list or write things down and listen. Okay. So, re-engage and follow up with the sphere, and you can do that. I also have you've heard this many times, never do lunch alone. Find a way where you can be with people all the time. After we went through the pandemic, many people went home. They're never out, in the community at all, but you have to find a way to be out around people. And, I started with Century 21 years ago. After Century 21, I had 3 RE/MAX franchises for 25 years. I was with RE/MAX 33, but in the Century 21 days, I worked for my dad. I think I owned 7 gold coats, 7 of them, because my dad would say, everywhere you go, you wear that gold coat everywhere. And I had a name badge everywhere I went, but people knew what I did. I remember putting a banner up in a gym one time for a basketball game, and it said, when you think of Century 21, you're going to think of real estate. When you think of Century 21, you're going to think of Tony Williams. And you know, I remember being in church one day, and my mother looks at me and she goes, when you take the offering up at church and you're an usher, don't wear the gold coat. Don't wear the gold coat, because I'm telling you, everywhere I went, people knew that I was in real estate. But you just really have to stay out there and put yourself in front. If you vanish from people, you know, the worst thing in the world is when someone walks up and they say, "Are you still in real estate?" That means that I failed. You know, I have friends, they say, "I'll no longer do social media. I'm coming off of Facebook. I'm coming off of Instagram. I don't do social media whatsoever." But I want to tell you, if you vanish from social media, your business is going to vanish as well. So you have to stay out there, and you have to stay out front, and do it in a good way. It's got a little bit of class. Other thing, you know, start at the top of your friends list and scroll through 10 Facebook profiles every morning. It should only take about an hour. You can easily, you know, work it into a morning routine. Look at the posts that indicate a need to buy or sell. And you can see posts. If you just scroll through, you'll see where I have a friend's looking to buy or sell, or we want to buy and sell. And don't just like it. Don't just put a little, you know, thumbs up. Call them on the phone, say, "Hey, let's do some coffee. Okay, let's get together for dinner," whatever it may be. Get active about what their needs are. So this will strengthen your leads. Now, to find qualified leads, I really like RedX. I really like that all the things they do there. Last is get involved with what geo leads are. Understand, you know, circle prospecting done in a digital format. Educate yourself about FSBO leads, how to contact them, you know, get your scripts together. We're going to have more and more FSBO leads, and we're going to have more and more expired leads. So make sure you're top of mind and you know how to speak to people, you know, when these FSBOs and when these expireds come up. The things that you do, they matter. They matter to people. Don't just hide away in your home. Get out and solve people's problems. You know, I get paid a commission because I solve people's problems. I don't get paid a commission because I'm a great salesperson, but I get paid a commission because I solve people's problems. So start with your value, work your value, solve people's problems, and you're going to be more successful. Hopefully, I didn't hit you with too much too fast.
Tony, that was awesome. I got one question for you.
Yes, sir.
Does that gold jacket still fit?
That gold jacket is gone, man. I burned it. They're gone, all 7 of them. I mean, I had
but everybody still knows you're in real estate, right?
That's right. Everybody knows I'm in real estate. That's
awesome.
right.
Awesome,
Yeah.
Tony. Thanks for laying it out there, guys. Do you guys have any? Who has questions? Someone's got to have some questions or some comments for either Tony or Laura or anybody else that who has some questions. We have Lisa says, "Great nuggets, thanks, Tony." Who else has a comment or some questions?
Well, I have a comment. I mean, I took 3 pages of notes, so thank you, Tony. I love that we all work together here because it expands my mind and makes me think of things that I'm not thinking of. So that's really a big help. And then I put a note on here because we've got quite a few people on the call. And I think we might have talked about this before. Definitely, we need to have a future call with some script training and new ideas for FSBOs and expired. So if anybody's on this call with GrowGlobal or not, anybody at all that's really amazing at this, they should put their information in the chat box and we'll grab it and schedule a future call. Right, John?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, on the GrowGlobal website, and let me pull it up here. Give me a second.
Oh yeah, if you guys haven't already visiting,
we actually just put something up here, and I'm gonna do a screen share. We have a website, and on our website we have an events page which showcases all the events that we do, the masterminds. But right here we have, if you want to suggest a topic, let's say there's something you want to hear and we haven't thought of what you're looking for. This isn't about anybody. This is about you. We want to make sure that, you know, that we're bringing information that's relevant to what you're trying to do to try to help you grow your business. So we have a form here. Click here to suggest a topic. If anybody wants to go to whygrowglobal.com/event, you can click on this and you can suggest a topic. And as we get together and brainstorm about our next meeting topics, that'll certainly be in the list. And you can see here's today's, and tomorrow we're doing our infamous open hours with Kim. You've had a chance to hear a little bit from Kim as she had some comments. Kim and her husband, Rob, are extremely successful in real estate. Kim was a top producing agent before she teamed up with her husband, and they went on to open up 15 RE/MAX offices here in Nashville, Tennessee, and they were RE/MAX Broker Owner of the Year one time, or back in the day. And they've been super successful, not only in real estate but in business. So we're doing our open hours with Kim tomorrow, and you can, if you have a burning question, if you have a challenge, if you have something that you can't figure out, you're able to leverage her experience to get solutions to those problems. That's just one of the things that we're trying to do to help elevate the agent community. So, but anybody, let me stop the share here. Anybody have any, let me see, we got a couple more messages here. Kim, you added the website, and then someone added their email address here, realestateoutlaw@gmail.com. And if anybody, if anybody wants to connect, put your name and the market you serve, and let's pass referrals around. That's another great reason to join our Facebook group. If you're looking for an agent in a certain area, you can lean on that group to find somebody that could possibly help out. Alex Montagano has another comment or question. Alex, coming in.
Yeah, no, I wanted to jump in here. One of the things I think it's important to recognize, in addition to all this awesome stuff that Tony and Laura put out there, if you're doing things like mailers or paying for leads or any financial investment in your business, what I would tell you is, like, your traditional gut right now is going to make you a little squirmish. It's going to make you a little uneasy. But while hearing everybody talk and having gone through some of the scale back that we've seen over the course of the year, the time to buy is when there's blood in the streets, even if it's your own blood. And what I would say behind that is, like, if you're investing, do not scale back. You got to find a way to come up with the finances, if you're doing it, to put it out there and extend your brand presence, because essentially what you're doing when you do that is you're buying market share that will sustain with you when we come out of the scale back that we're experiencing right now. So if you're doing things like paying for leads, or we actually doubled our lead spend in February, and I did it when my lending partner asked me to scale back. So not only did we cut his spend down, we doubled our spend. It was a pretty big financial risk on our behalf, but our team is absolutely killing it in the paid lead space right now. And it's increasing every single person on our team's brand presence across all of our metropolitan Indianapolis market. So what I would tell you is, if you can financially sustain what we're going through right now, it is a great opportunity to buy market share and keep it. Because as people fall out of the business, transactions are going to be happening every single day, and they might as well happen with somebody on this call right now. So just a 2 cents from me.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. And if you liked what Alex had to say, you are in for a treat next week, because Alex is going to be teaching everybody on this call and anybody you invite how to farm a neighborhood. Think about this. Who wants to own the neighborhood that they live in, or maybe the high-end neighborhood in your community? Well, that's what Alex is going to be teaching you next week. So you definitely want to join us. And if you have a guest, if you have, invited guests, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're at. None of that matters. All we're trying to do is elevate the agent community. So if you know agents from other companies that would like to level up, would like to have some great mentorship and access to some amazing content that's going to help them grow their business, please join us next week at the same link, www.realtormastermind.live at noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. So anyway, guys, it's been a great call. I want to thank Tony. I want to thank Laura for really being prepared and delivering some great information. I also want to thank everybody else who stepped in, Alex and Kim, who added some value, and say, guys, look forward to seeing everybody next week. Everybody have a great week, and we will be talking to you soon. And don't forget, if you want to check the replay, check the YouTube channel. It should be up there by tomorrows. Thanks, guys.
John.
Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, John.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Kim.
guys.